So, anybody here? Anybody? Let's see. Guitar track. Anything? Yeah, we got some people showing up. Hey, there he is. What's up, Austin? How you doing? Can you hear me? Anybody hear me? Hello. Oh, sweet. Perfect. Thanks, dude. All right. I was hoping somebody else would come in. We had two people. That's all right. All right. Fuck it. We'll just keep going. So, okay. So, testing it. It seems to work good. You can hear the guitar. Can you hear my voice? Alright, so I figured if this works, which it does, I was going to do a basic recording tutorial starting from scratch, like no tracks whatsoever. So I think that'd be pretty cool. Hopefully we get some other people. If you're on, say hello. Some people jump it on and then they jump right off. So I must be boring as shit. Hey. Okay. So screw it. We'll just keep going. All right. So let's make that a little bigger. Okay. Okay. So I have a blank session up. It has my guitar line here and a talkback microphone, which I need to talk back to you guys if it's possible. So, if you can hear me, which I think you can. So, okay. So, I like to do everything with plugins because my wife is sleeping. And I can't have an amp cranked up in the house. It's just easier to do it this way. So, if I have some VST plugins here. So add a new track, just add a track, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's pretty simple. If you need me to do that, to show you how to do that, I can do that. This is Cubase 10 Pro, 10.5 Pro. I got it cheap when they were upgrading it, so it's pretty cool, and it sounds awesome. So we're gonna see if we can get a basic riff recorded with some tempo change, with one tempo change, and go from there. So, all right, yeah. Okay, sorry. So we have, you can see that, right? Yeah, you can. Great, awesome. So we have VST effects. If we go to STL, Ignite Emissary is free. So that's kind of a cool one. So we kind of just drag that back. You can hear it kind of get gross, which is disgusting. And it sounds like shit. So, we need to add a noise gate to the track too. So this is our guitar track here. Alright, we'll drag this out of the way for now. Turn the gate on. Crank the threshold down. Attack, release. Just to get rid of that. Just to get rid of that crap. Now you can hear my guitar okay? I hope. Maybe. Possibly. Alright. So this thing sounds like shit because it's just the plugin itself, so it's just the head. And the head doesn't sound that great. Let's turn that down a little bit. There we go. So it sounds really kind of ugh. You can hear the guitar okay, Austin? Everything cool? Maybe, hopefully. So it says we got viewers popping on, but they keep popping off. So, all right, no big deal. So what you need is an IR. An IR is a stamp in time for the for the cabinet. So what they do is they run a sound through the cab, and they make the cab, and they record it, and then they turn it into this like half a second sound bite, which is just basically a frequency response for the cab, and they call it an IR. That's cool, man. When you add that to this, it gives it a better sound. So it actually emulates the cab. So Ignite NADIR or NADIR actually has a okay. So Ryan's on, but he can't chat. That's odd. Try to reconnect, dude. Okay, so we take the NADIR and we slide it over to the insert, and it loads this beast here. So right now we have an RKH 4x12 vintage 30, whatever an SNU is. I have no idea. Probably the microphone. Okay, so now when I play that, so you're not hearing the mic anymore? That's weird. Maybe I did something. Did I do something to it? How about now? It takes a second for it to come through. Odd. I love this job. So you should be able to hear it, I would think. Better? Worse? I hope this continues to work. It seemed to a few minutes ago. The problem is that it's damn near impossible to be able to stream this shit and be able to hear what the hell you're doing, what's going out over, without another computer, which I don't want to spend another $1,000 on, because I've already spent enough money and my wife is going to kill me. Still the same. I can still hear you. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully somebody else will pop on that can chat too and see if they can hear me. So, okay. So, I have the single guitar line. Wanted to record this thing here. So, I wanted to record a basic riff I've had written for a while. It's not real basic, but at least we can do like a 4-part thing over it and give some insight on how to like mix a little bit, which is kind of cool. So I was thinking about doing this guy. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to record that, but I need to get the beat first. So we can kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have in Cubase kind of a cool thing there is the beat calculator, which you can tap the tempo in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about 90. I always click a little slow, so I'm going to put it up at 95. Hey, Ryan's on. No shit. Can you hear everything okay, Ryan? Not that I care. Okay. So let's give this a shot. So there's a metronome down here in the corner. Oh, shit, you guys can't see that. Hey, look at that. See, for live stream bullshit. Okay. So there is a metronome or tempo down here that's 95. I'm going to change it to 95. Okay. And then we're going to turn on the two metronomes. There's an active metronome click in, and then there's also an active count in. So when I turn that on, it'll actually give me 2 measures of count in, which is pretty cool. So when I hit record, I got to arm my track and get rid of that. If I hit record, it gives me two measures of count in before it starts recording. So that's kind of cool. It gives you a little bit of a timing precursor or count in. Excuse me. One of these days I'll get this shit right. So, okay, here we go. So, let's try this. We're going to hit record and see what happens. Okay, so that's one. So now let's play it back. Okay, there it is. Okay, so right now we are at 1 track, which is pretty cool. But 1 track does not get good tunes. So let's do another. So we're going to do a duplication of the track. So if I duplicate the track, all it does, because the waveforms are perfectly in line, you only get like louder. That's it. It just gets louder. So if you take a look, if we go over here, so it just got louder. It didn't get any fuller. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't sound like 2 players playing. It just sounds like 1 player playing. Okay. So I'm not going to go crazy yet with any like different amps and things like that. But what we're going to do is get rid of this waveform. So now it's back to the original. And I'm going to re-record it. over the top. And just give it a little bit more. Now that might be a little bit better. Can you guys hear me a little better? Oh, I can hear myself better. Let me put it that way. That might be better. Look at that. See, a gain knob. Works good. So, okay. So that's a little bit better. You might hear the strings click, but unavoidable. Okay. So we're going to go back here. And we'll bring this back down here. Okay. Let's move that. All right. So we're there. We got turn our metronome back on. And we need some volume here. So again, you might hear some string click, but this thing is picking up everything. Okay. Okay, let's try this again and see what happens. Turn the click back on and we'll hit the metronome. Okay. So we'll slow that down. I made a little bit of a mistake here and there, but who gives a shit? So, okay. So if you notice, when you go back, it sounds weird, right? So if it sounds weird, the panning is on top of itself. So some of that stuff is what they call phase canceling. So as one string is going up, the other one is coming back, and it's phasing itself out. It's canceling itself out, which is pretty interesting when it comes to sound engineering and things like that. So what you have to do to combat that is give it its own space. So in the mixer, we're going to take and drag the guitar 1 all the way to the left, excuse me. And then the center one, we're going to dump it all the way to the right and see what happens. So to do that, so now we should have a nice spatial fullness happening. I am using it's called it's a Tascam US 2X2 is what I'm using for, Austin asked me if what I was using for an audio interface, and I'm using the Tascam US 2X2. It's a USB 3 interface. It has two channels, gain knobs, the whole 9 yards. You can run MIDI into it. You can run XLR, 2 XLRs, or 2 1/4-inch, or 1 XLR and 1 1/4-inch. Doesn't really matter. Any configuration you want. And it was relatively cheap. It was like $140, and it's built like a tank. It's all steel. I can't really pick it up because it's kind of cabled to my desk. I have a ton of crap on it. And it's just right here. I can use everything. I can run headphones out of it and run live sound. I can't do that now because I don't want the speakers to feed back. But it works out pretty good. I mean, it's like $150. It comes with Studio One, and you just need a cable to run it, and it sounds awesome. A decent computer is a must. You got to have something that's more a little bit more powerful. I built this computer to be the recording system that I wanted. It's a NVIDIA, I believe, AMD with 12 gigs of RAM, which is like Corsair crazy stuff. I got the Radeon 5900 video card, which is pretty cool. So, and then with my camera and everything else, I'm running some capture software and a few things, which is pretty cool. But the interface itself was real cheap, and it sounds just as good as a really expensive one. It just doesn't have all the channels and shit on it. So, okay, so here we go. Okay, so what I did was I panned the guitar left and the second guitar right, just to kind of give it some spatial sound. So we should be able to kind of gives you a little bit more volume or width that spreads it out, gives you a better ear to it, which is pretty cool. Okay, so if I do that again and we duplicate the the thing cuts out when I'm trying to add tracks, and I delete this, so we kind of take the two left tracks and dump one at like left 50, like halfway to the left, and then one all the way to the left. And then you have your second one, or your third track, excuse me, to the right 50, or, about halfway. And then we kind of go back and re-record the same thing. So I'm going to add a harmony into this too after 4. Let's do a punch in, punch out for funsies. Okay. I'm going to cut this off here. So here we go. All right. You heard all that, right, Austin? Everything cool? All well? Okay. So, what the hell was I doing? Oh yeah, gotta re-record this part. So I'm gonna re-record the part, and then I'm gonna stop it, and then I'm gonna add punch it in and add a harmony to it. So here we go. So turn on our click in and our click, and hit record. Okay, and I forgot to punch out. So we're gonna try that again. We're gonna turn on in our punch in and punch out, and hit record again, and it should snap us right back to the beginning. No, it didn't. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. I don't want to loop. All right, let's go back to 1. We'll turn off the punch in, but I definitely wanted to punch out at 5. So that's a good thing. So here we go. Okay, you see how it stopped? And we can keep going. I'm not sure what that was, that little goof. Let's duplicate it anyway. And we'll drop it out. We'll add another one right here. We'll go back to the beginning and hit record. Okay, so that one stopped right at the right spot. Hey, no problem, dude. Anytime. You need a hand with something like this, let me know, dude, or just keep kind of tuning in and asking me questions and stuff. And, if you know anybody else that's into this kind of shit, send them my way. I would love to be able to kind of grow this whole thing. So that way, you're getting on it. And if somebody has more information than I do, which is a fuck ton of people, would be kind of cool to be able to kind of like grow a community, the whole thing. My buddy Jeremy Doyle is really, really good. A really, really good engineer too. But he doesn't do any of this kind of stuff. I'd like for him to kind of jump on and talk to a few people about it and go from there, which is pretty cool. I really think that would be pretty awesome, just to kind of build this whole thing, just to get a community going, man, so we can get some metal players together, or even just rock players or players in general, just have a good time. So, okay, so here we go. So we're going to do a punch in this time, no roll, and I'm going to do the harmony if I can remember how to play it. Okay, let's try it. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to number 1. Let's bring it back a little bit. We have a punch in, punch out. We have our track recording. We're good to go. Okay. So we now have this giant 4-track thing. I have this big cut in the middle of these pieces. So let's do this. Let's glue these together. Okay. So now they're all one continuous thing, right? And what I want to do now, I don't want that waveform click. I think there's a click in there. Let's mute this, get the rest of these guys. Solo that out. There we go. Shut off my microphone. Oop. Shut that off, and we'll shut this off and this off. Yeah. Okay, you see that it kind of went blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I don't like that. So let's do this. We're going to take the waveforms and we're going to bounce them down. So we go to audio, bounce selection, replace events, and it gives me this nice, smooth thing. It probably still sounds like shit, but at least it's nice and smooth and there's no clicks. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so that's not so bad. Let's do, let's add a bass line. So there are a couple of ways you can do that. Obviously, just grab a bass and play, which I probably should just do. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Hold on. Okay. Let's see if I can actually hear that. All right, so let's add a bass track. Add stereo in mono 1. Bass track. All right. Okay, so on that bass track, let's turn on the gate. There's a bit of a hiss there, but that's okay. Okay, now I need a tuner. So let's add STL Tones. The Will Putney thing that I purchased a while ago. If you want a good, really good metal toned plug-in, and it's not that expensive, it's like $150. I bought this with my own money, so please don't, this thing is my own opinion, so I bought this with my own money. It's absolutely ridiculous. It has some nice vintage tones to it, nice vintage amps. You can, if you go to the amps, to the pedal section, you can add pedals to it. Like, I'm not going to add any distortion right now that I'm aware of. Let's do something fun. The hell? Dark Overdrive. Okay. Now, it's got a great tuner on it. As you can see, the thing is real sensitive. that string anyway. So you can also add delays and choruses and reverbs. Which is actually really, really cool. So, but I don't want that right now. And you can have cabs, and you can get your, there are different IR loaders in there, which are pretty cool. You can change out your, okay, so you can change out your, the speaker cab, which is pretty cool, and it's just awesome. It sounds awesome. It's great for guitar. It's great for bass. It just really sounds awesome. So let's add in this piece to the recording that we just did. So we'll turn back on our metronome. I gotta not turn punch in and punch out on. That's why that did that. Okay, and hit record. Okay. Cool. So that sounds okay. I'm sure it doesn't sound awesome, but okay, sounds better than I thought. Yeah, it sounds better than I thought. Okay, great. So let's turn this down a little bit. Man, you can eat up a half an hour with this shit. That's nice. Kind of dig that. We had some more people on, but I guess they dropped off. Jerks. All right. Let's just offend everybody that I want to actually watch this shit. That'd be great. Kind of my MO. You know, just be an asshole. Screw it. You know? Fuck it. So, okay. So, that's pretty cool. I like that. But I don't like the I'm not a big fan of the metronome. So let's add a drum line. I don't play drums. So I have to kind of rely on other things. So the reason why I'm freezing tracks here is because the amount of power this thing uses and performance can get overloaded pretty quickly, and it can distort. And I don't want it to distort on live stuff, and I sure as hell don't want it to distort on recording. So I'm freezing tracks because it shuts off all of the inserts that are on any of this stuff. So, but it also kills my microphone as I do it. That's why I stopped talking. Very true, Austin. Very true. Hope all's well, dude. I haven't talked to you in forever. Okay. So everything's frozen, right? So now when I turn this on, we have a lot less, average load and peak time. So we're not going to get much distortions. So I want to do is a VST instrument, and what I use for drums is EZdrummer. And again, I bought this, totally bought it. It's all nobody gave me anything because I don't think they ever will, but that's okay. So the drag. Okay, there we go. So now we have some drums. And it sounds awesome. The Toontrack stuff is amazing. I have Easy Bass too, and I would have done that for this, but it's a little complicated to kind of get it to work correctly. It's absolutely awesome. Again, I bought this stuff, so it's not like it's not like anybody's paying me to say this shit. This thing's fucking fantastic. I bought a few different kits to go with it. This is just the basic one it comes with, which is very cool. And you can get a few others, like the mod, like 80s. Like they're really, really gated. And vintage, so you got basic vintage kit, which is kind of cool. But you can tell it sounds like damn near perfect. I know, right? It's crazy. So that's just the basic thing. So I bought a couple of extra ones. This is the basic metal kit. Now, I'm not sure who uses this, but I know that's the one I've used for most of my jam tracks, and it sounds absolutely awesome. It's got sits in the right spots. It's really, really cool. The others that I've bought are the rock kits. And it has, which is really cool. Now, each one of the sounds has its own library. So easy rock, like a straightforward verse. And it's right on beat with your song, so you can kind of like find out everything that's going on, which is kind of cool. So even if I go to like a 120, it's still the same tempo, but it's supposed to be here. So this is cool, and if we go to like Metal Machine, and we have a track at ours is at 95, so I try to find something close, because if you go like 200 and something or whatever it is, it just sounds dumb. Actually, that sounds better than I thought it would. Of course, everything I try to do doesn't work that way. Excuse me. So let's go modern metal. Let's use a verse. I don't really like that. Let's go with metalheads. Hardcore. 95 intro. Okay, so the nice thing about this is that you can literally just take it and dump it into the song. And when I play it, that doesn't sound very good at all. So let's do something a little different. Let's get rid of this. Remove. Let's go to Library of the Extreme, Death Metal Grooves. And we'll do... Okay, so let's double time it. And we'll dump it down here. 0. Right. So that's not happening as well as I would like it to, but we're still testing this. Remember, this is still a test. Okay, so don't bust my ass about this. Well, you can if you want to. I don't give a shit. It's fine. Oh, let's get rid of that. Bring back Easy Drummer. So, 95 beats a minute. No, I don't want to play at the original tempo. Okay. Still clipping on me for some reason. See, that's awfully short. Let's do hardcore. as you can see, you can throw together a quick jam track really fast. Okay, so that's kind of cool. I like that. I'm not sure why that's clipping out on me. All right, for a nice little test, that's not so bad. And if everything sounded okay, then I'm not going to complain too much. So what we can do now is on the EQ side of things for the guitars, if we took and added a global track, or a group track, excuse me. Yep, stereo and stereo out, create inside folder. Let's just put guitars. Okay, so guitars. All right, so now we have the strip, the channel strip for the guitar bus. So we added a bus to put all the guitars in. So if I want to, I can solo all the guitars at once, or like just drop all of the volumes all at once, which is pretty cool. But that also adds in the ability to add compression. My microphone. Hey, look at that. I can actually hear. That's pretty cool. Fucking idiot. Every now and then, man, I feel like I can actually do shit. So, all right, let's bring it back to here. And we'll turn the EQ on. We'll drop some of the low end out. Bring off some of the high. Listen for some whistles. That's cool. But the really nice thing about this is you can add a limiter, saturation, you can add all sorts of stuff. So my brick wall limiter I like because I can get it up to 3 and it won't overload the track. The compressor adds a little bit to it. It's kind of nice. Pretty cool. Cool. All right, let me change back to guitar here. Nah, I'm gonna probably call it an evening because it is almost 9:30. So, okay, so pretty cool. I gotta say, I'm mildly impressed with this. It worked. It doesn't sound like shit. And you guys seem to, I mean, for the 2 people that are listening to this, and I'm hoping it went well. So, okay, so I'm going to try to do this more often. I'm not sure how often, but I'm going to try to make it a schedule. If you guys think you need or want to hear something that, want me to show you something guitar related or recording related, please let me know in the comment section under this video or another one. And, or even check me out on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I think you got my phone number, for Christ's sake, the two of you that are on. I won't give it to you now because if somebody else watches this, I don't need people calling me in the middle of the night, crazy fans and stalkers and shit. So if you found this informative, give me a like, give me a subscribe, share it to somebody. That would be really, really cool. And I would highly, highly appreciate it. Again, I really want to grow this thing to try to make it a community. I can't go out and gig. I work at like 4 a.m. So going out and gigging is just a waste. I can't even bother. I want to, but I can't. So this is going to be my outlet for gigging. I really want to be able to make some cool music with some cool people, man. Maybe start a few contests and really get something going, because I love metal music. I love doing this stuff, and I love teaching too. Teaching was awesome. It was a lot of fun, but I don't really have that outlet anymore. So, excuse me. If anybody is, like I said, if you know anybody, please share it. I'd love to be able to reach more people. So, thanks for checking it out, dude. Austin, thank you very much. You've been awesome, like giving me feedback and making sure I know if that things are working and things aren't working, and if it sounds like shite or not. I'm going to be adding some more stuff to the channel too. I want to do some basic theory and some basic guitar playing lessons and things like that. So if there's anything you guys want to see or anything you think I could do to grow this, please let me know as soon as you can. So like, subscribe, all that bullshit, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.